E3 is on the way. It's the time of year I stay up all night and sleep all day. Actually, that's just every time of year, really. It's coming, it's next week, it's June 10th to June 13th. Now, I don't think it's a good idea to say exactly what's going to happen at E3, because after all, if we knew, what would be the point? But this is a primer. It's about what to expect and what to watch during E3. Press conferences can be the most exciting and the most disappointing parts of the show. Granted, every year there are some memorable moments, lest we forget Mr. Caffeine, Skittles, the Gibber Translator, and all of Konami's E3 2011 conference. But while they can be funny and sometimes downright embarrassing, this is where the meat of the announcements are. When are they? Let's take a look. Great, here's what to expect. The big black elephant in the room for Sony is what the PlayStation 4 will actually look like. We've seen some teaser trailers and some pretty convincing mock-ups, and if these are accurate, the PS4 and the Xbox One are going to be pretty similar. Along with the release window price and a couple of internal things, they're going to have to talk about the interface and PS Plus integration. Sony have already shown off a lot of games in their February conference, so you can bet that Knack, Killzone Shadowfall, and Destiny will probably be playable on the show floor. We'll also see more of Gran Turismo 6, Rain, and perhaps even the long-awaited Last Guardian. I'm personally hoping for a big push of Vita games to revitalise the handheld. We already know that Tearaway and Killzone Mercenaries will be there. In terms of new games, you can bet that Uncharted and The Last of Us creators Naughty Dog will be there showing off a PS4 action-y, story, platformy thing. Also, Heavy Rain creator David Cage will be there to show off Beyond Two Souls and announce he's working on a movie about floating sentient heads. Or something. Microsoft should be revealing the release date and the pricing of their beastly VCR of a console, the Xbox One. It'll probably come out about November time for about $299, if I had to guess. Getting all the TV and interface stuff out of the way in May, Microsoft conference should be heavy on the games and light on the shit. We'll be getting a look at those 15 Microsoft Studios exclusive titles, including Quantum Break from the makers of Alan Wake, and a new title from Rare which promises to revitalise a historic franchise. Halo 5 is also likely to be announced, probably in the Steve Jobs style of one more thing in the way that Halo 3 was. But this time you're not going to care. Also, more cars, more dogs, and this image, which I initially thought was fake, but after the announcements of Halo Spartanauts it looked a lot more legitimate. So a Fable, Mirror's Edge and Dead Rising sequel could be on the cards. While they're not actually doing a conference in Los Angeles and instead relying on their Nintendo Direct broadcast, old Shigeru Miyamoto will have a lot in store for us. Particularly for the Wii U, which hasn't had the strongest launch year in the world. Nintendo have promised us a new Super Smash Bros., a new 3D Zelda and Mario, and a new Mario Kart for the Wii U. And, probably what we're all waiting for, Bayonetta 2, which is the sequel to Bayonetta 1. Hopefully, we'll also get our hands on some already announced games, including Pikmin 3, The Wonderful 101, and hopefully, the Wind Waker HD remake. Everything playable at E3 will also be playable in demos in the Wii U store, if anyone's actually bought one. So what about those third parties? Ubisoft will be showing off gameplay and putting a release date to Assassin's Creed 4, Watch Dogs, and South Park game The Stick of Truth. They'll also be hyping us for Blacklist and Rayman Legends, which looks amazing. They've also promised next-gen games which we've never seen before. I don't know. EA! Sims 4, Mirror's Edge, 2, Battlefield, the shoot-a-gun game, football. While EA have just acquired the Star Wars license, being so soon it's unlikely we'll be able to play any of those games. But with BioWare, Visceral and DICE all making Star Wars titles, you can be sure for a lot of announcements and hype. Some developers will be throwing their games into the conferences of the big guys, including Just Cause creators Avalanche Studio. Batman Arkham Origins will get some gameplay, as will The Witcher 3, the reboot of Thief, and the big one, Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm guessing that Konami will reveal some details in their pre-E3 conference, but Kojima will make an appearance in either Microsoft or Sony's keynote, and probably say something about how we'll use the cool new hardware. What about Grand Theft Auto 5? Not going to be there. 2K and Rockstar have announced that they will not have a presence at E3, but that doesn't mean you can't still get excited for it as it's being released September this year. On the larger scale, just because the next gen is here doesn't mean the current gen are on their way out. The Wii, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 still be around, with most of the new titles being announced for all platforms. But you can be sure there will be a pretty hefty price cut. Maybe now I can get round to replacing my Core Arcade console with the 20 gig hard drive, which means I can't play Halo 4 online. but I wouldn't want to anyway because it's shit. Finally, the one thing I'm most excited for is the presence of the Oculus Rift. I'm hoping they'll announce a release date and the price of the consumer model. So that's what I'm anticipating for E3, but maybe I've left something out and maybe you just don't care about what I care about. If you've got any tips about things I'm missing, just let me know and I'll make another video. Until then, enjoy the relentless hypes and rumours, and I'll be making some more content for this channel. On that computer. Well, that's the computer, that's the monitor. That'd be silly. Okay, peace.